Evans' three-point shot.
Powering a guy, baby.
The following is a production of the Rough Rider broadcast team, a presentation of Watlington and Shires Productions. Northeast Texas Sports Network and Azalea Orthopedics present Northeast Texas Football, the 2023 season.
We got St. Augustine, we got Tenaha, we got Shelbyville, all that is going to be represented here this evening. So we got a great show ahead for you. But I always want to say thank you so much to everyone that has been so receptive and helping us out with all kinds of good stuff. And so we were able to add the Tenaha Tigers to our repertoire in there for a couple of games, coming those up too. So we're going to talk to those good folks as we go along here today. But we will be we'll be in West Sabine tomorrow night for St. Augustine and West Sabine, and then we'll be in Timpson at Shelbyville, and then Shelbyville, Beckville. We got St. Augustine at Woden on the guys' side. That could be a big thing over there. That's going to be a big game over there as well. Woden and Torino kind of wrap up the whole season, but we got the girls' playoffs that are coming up too that we're going to be covering. So all kinds of good stuff on the way. But the Piney Woods Area Coaches Show coming your way right now. We got a lot of things going on, so we'll be back with Coach Cartwright of the Lady Wolves of St. Augustine coming up.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
Matthews Realty, going above and beyond is what's expected. This is agency owner Colin Matthews. Our team of seasoned real estate professionals believe in giving their clients an advantage in any real estate transaction. Matthews Realty has a reputation of highly personalized service. Matter of fact, it's our #1 priority. From commercial and residential properties, poultry farms to beach rentals, our team works hard so you don't have to.
Call Matthews Realty at 598-7800 or visit MatthewsRealty.com.
Hey, wow.
All right, we're back here on NetSN for the Piney Woods Area Coaches Show. And joining me right now, Coach Cartwright of the Lady Wolves of St. Augustine. And, Coach, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Awesome and blessed. And it's been a little while since I got to see you, so
yes,
I'm glad
sir.
to see everything's going good.
It is. It's going well.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the gals here. And, going over a couple of games, I know that we got a couple wins in there, an overtime win, a couple other wins. We dropped a couple there, too. So tell us a little bit about how things have gone, especially with Broadus and Torino and those couple games out there.
Let's see. Broadus game, we played as well as we could. Our girls gave it their all. The Woden game, we lost it there at the end, close game. Sherino, we played a really, really good first half, and then the third quarter kind of hurt us a little bit, and then we played a really good fourth quarter. But we ended up losing that one by 6, I believe. So just we got to put 4 quarters together.
Right, and especially coming in here, I thought maybe the girls maybe had a little bit of sickness going through there, just a little bit of things going on that maybe kind of you had to move some things around. I understand.
Right. Yes, we had Friday night 2 girls out. Sorry, the flu was going around.
Right.
So we had a lot of girls playing out of position, but you can't stop.
Right.
The ball keeps rolling.
Right.
So.
Yeah, especially this time. Yeah, because I know how that goes. Because I'm just finally getting over all that crud that was going on. I think a lot of people around here have had it, and I feel so bad for everybody. But the girls, they're moving right along. And it's so kind of everybody back together now. How are we feeling after
we are.
after weeks together? Getting ready for the last couple.
We'll be in full strength tomorrow against West Sabine. That's a big game for us. We need it.
Right.
That's planned for 4th place in district. But we are back to full strength. Our girls will be back together, and it should be a fun one.
Yeah, because I remember the last game there at West Sabine, it was an overtime win.
Yes.
And it was an exciting game right there, too. So, West Sabine's coming in there. They're looking to hold on to that one spot there, too. So, this is a big game for you guys. So, what have you been telling the girls last couple of days to just get ready for it?
No, we're just working hard. We're doing what we got to do. We're not worried about anybody else. We do what we do, and we do it well. We'll be fine.
Right.
My girls, they know that we've been building. You build. So it's one game at a time and one practice at a time, and tomorrow we'll go handle business.
Right, there you go. And it's going to be a good one. I can't wait to get out there for that, too. But, you've also got to play some younger girls out there, too, this year, too. So that's been very beneficial for them to get some time out there. Young lady, I believe it was Barnes.
Yes.
The freshman that's coming out there, so she's been adding to the great lineup you got already.
Right. She's played the 3-4s, and she's also moved and played the 4-4s as well. And honestly, she's our anchor on defense.
Right.
She's a great defensive player. She's building her confidence on offense, and by the time she's a senior, she's gonna be fun to watch.
Right. Yeah, that's good. You build it right through the process.
Yes,
Everything right
sir.
there too. All right. And another young lady, I know the last time I was out there, Polk, it was her birthday. She had a good night there out there too. So she's playing really good. And this young, I like to watch her play because she just she has
goes
fun.
hard. She
goes
goes hard.
hard. She has fun out there while she's playing. That's why I like to watch her
Yes,
play.
sir.
So much.
She's our leader. She's our senior leader. She'll do anything I ask her to do.
Right, right, yeah.
So,
Whatever needs to be done, she'll
yes,
get it taken
sir.
care of. There you go. Another lady, young lady, Wade, she's just hardcore underneath there after the boards all the time. That young lady, I mean, she's
Tell
a
her all
monster
the
on
time.
the
She
board.
doesn't know how strong she really is.
Right. There's so many we're missing out there, right?
Right,
Yeah, you gotta
and
keep-
we definitely missed her Friday, but she'll be back tomorrow, so
Right.
looking forward to that. She's a walking double-double.
Yeah,
So-
that's exactly true. Because she is just. She just seems to be like there, right there with the board. Right there for that rebound. She kind of reminded me of one of the players over there for Shelbyville. He's just always right there. But yeah, I tell you, this is a good team out here. Burrell, Brooks, even Miss Davis coming in out there doing some stuff out there. She gets some minutes.
Hey,
and
she
she's
had a big
getting
game
bigger.
Friday.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
had a
She was
big
doing
game
really
Friday.
good, man. So I'm like, man, she's coming along.
She is. Like I said, we're just building. We're young. We know that it's hard coming up as a freshman playing at the varsity level. So we've glad we got to expose them to that, and we're just gonna build on it.
Right.
The first step, we make the playoffs, and then we build from there.
Yeah, because, going into the playoffs, too, even though you may get that 4 seed or whatever, but, some things coming up, but you get back to full strength, and then you're playing your best basketball going in. Because, you're going to play, we've talked Region 3, 2A basketball is one of the toughest around
Right.
here, guys and girls side. So, you're going to probably face somebody, a real familiar foe out there. So, that's what you got to work on, too. And, even though they've got a couple of games left to go here and some good opponents, but, this ladies' team, whenever they're rolling, they can get going and they're getting rocking around. Because I know they had a good little win streak, and then they had to, everything went down a little bit for a couple, but, it's all good.
We're building. Like I said, our seniors, they brought some good leadership to us. Our shots are falling. We're playing the best defense we have in the 2 years that I've been here.
Right.
So, like I said, we're just building.
Right.
Day by day, we're just trying to get better.
Well, I know, it was last time I covered you guys, it was against Coleman-Hill. Had a big game right there, and it just seemed like everything was really working along right there. So whenever you have a game like that, it also gets you a chance to really work on what your offense, what you want to do down the line. And so that was whatever you were able to do. So what are you able to put there towards West Sabine and Corrigan coming up? Because these are the two big ones that you got still that to go.
We're not changing anything.
Right.
What we do, it works well. We just got to go out and execute. There's nothing for us to change as far as a certain team or anything.
Right.
We know that we can run. We know that we can press. We know that we can shoot the ball relatively well, and that's just what we have to do.
Right. And I tell you, sometimes you have to get down on your bench a little bit, because you get running into fouls in right there too. So who's that? You could have a plethora, a couple of different young ladies you could go to. Who do you really like? If you had to go to somebody that you needed a spark off the bench, who's that one you want to pull off there first? There's a lot to think. There's a few of them you could do that. Right?
There's a few. Burrell can give us some big threes. Davis can give us a lot in the paint. It just depends on who's on that night.
Right. And even Renfro out there a couple times too, doing some things out there as well. She's just, just the ball movement, and you guys seem to be able to find each other, and you can see that, running your offense, they know what they're supposed to do. They know where they're supposed to be. And I can tell you sometimes you got to tell them, hey, you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to be there. But, that's really what you've only had to really get into them about, literally, is just position, because everything else seems where they're really at.
Like I said, we've grown. This is our second year running the offense, so I feel like they've finally gotten comfortable with it.
Right.
And I'm not having to tell them as much as what we're looking for. Like, they see the open man now.
Right.
So it's fun basketball once they get going.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch. That's true. Because, like I said, I've seen the ladies real long, and I know how much fun they're going to have and getting it going, too. So, all right, so the West Sabine game here, and I know we got Corrigan coming up, too, still on the schedule, right? That's the last one. So, but this one right here is, you can say, because I'm not going to say it's for all the marbles, but this game here against West Sabine is probably one of the most important so far this year.
I tell the kids every game's important. We're not going to put any pressure on one or the other. You got to come out and execute.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're supposed to win by 20 or you're supposed to win by 30. If you don't come out and play, the other team's coming out trying to win.
Right, exactly.
And so we're not going to put importance on one game more than the other. We got to take care of business tomorrow, and then on Friday we got to come back and take care of business again.
So both wins, and maybe do you need both wins and to get us there to number 4, or is there one or two little things in there that might need to happen as well?
Both wins get us pretty much to number 4. If West Sabine could somehow shock Sherino, we'd have a little wild playoff for 3rd.
Right.
But I think we can take 4th.
Right, there you go. That'd be awesome. That's there. Just to get into the playoffs, that's where it's got to start, because everybody's 0-0, playing your good basketball as you go into there, and that's going to be fun and exciting. I'll tell you what, Coach, you got this team rolling, they're believing, and I know you got some underclassmen, and it's going to be terrible that you lose those seniors every year. That's one of the hard part about it here, but still a long way to go. But I tell you, they're going, and they're going to pass on some good stuff to the younger girls, and this Lady Wolves team has got a long building process, and it's going to be good every year that it comes up.
It's going to be fun.
Better.
You know, that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th, and 11. We got some ball players coming. So it should be looking up for the Lady Wolves. It should be good.
There you go. And I tell you, too, you got one great athletic director down there in Coach Barnes that, was all in on a lot of stuff out there. He's with, hopefully he gives you guys everything you need.
Oh, he's awesome. I probably get on his nerves. I call him every day.
That's kind of what I feel, too, whenever I'm like, hey, Coach, what's going on? And he's like, hey, Larry, all right. I say, well, try not to bother. But, and another thing, too, and the Wolves getting ready to get a new facility coming up in there, too, so that's going to be very nice. So, just really like what's going on in San Augustine right now. I mean, the town is behind them, and the kids are playing very well. So it's good to be into basketball right now.
It's a lot to be proud of. The whole district as a whole, we're building.
Right.
And it's fun.
Right.
It's challenging as it is anywhere else, but we got some great things going on in SA.
Right. It sure looks good over there, that's for sure. All right, well, we got a lot of coaches out here. Coach, I know that, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you tomorrow night. Good luck to you and the girls. It's going to be a good one. I hope I have my voice left over by the time we get done with that out there. But Coach Cartwright, the Lady Wolves of St. Augustine, Lady Wolves and the Lady Tigers of West Sabine hooking it up tomorrow night right here. First game about 6 o'clock. Thanks a lot, Coach. Tell the girls, thanks for being here, and we'll wish you luck.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back here on NetSN.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the Pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Father, for lunch today, I would like a salad.
Father, for lunch, I'd like one of those American cheeseburgers.
I'm a vegetarian.
Cheeseburger. That's what I need.
Father.
Cream. Oh, when everyone in your family thinks they're royalty, take them someplace where they could all get something good. Dairy Queen.
Batters Law Firm is proud to be a third-generation law firm serving the injured people of East Texas since 1964. Batters has settled thousands of cases and paid out over $25 million to clients from settlements in the past 2 years. Visit one of their locations for your free, no-appointment consultation and let the Batters team implement their proven approach that incorporates treatment and recovery while maximizing settlements and payouts. Batters Law Firm, serving you in Nacogdoches, Lufkin Center, and Houston. Remember, when it matters, call Batters. 833-BATTERS. 833-BADDERS.
Alrighty, we're back here to the Piney Woods Area Coaches Show here on NSN at the P3. And joining us right now, Coach Randall of the San Augustine Wolves. And, Coach, how's it going?
It's going good. Appreciate you guys having me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming back. Then we got to see you there a few weeks back and got to call some games for the guys. So how's things rolling here the last couple of games for the guys? I know they've been on a winning streak, which is good.
Yes, we're 7-0 in district right now. The guys are playing really well, really tough, really together. We're just trying to stay focused, keep our attitudes in the right place, keep our effort in the right place, and keep this thing rolling.
Yes, sir, because, I mean, that's what I was going to ask you is, like, moving right along and the guys have some confidence and then, just trying to make sure that they stay grounded a little bit, to keep rolling, eye on the prize is what you got to really tell them out there.
Yes, sir. It's a long race, not a short one. We want to make sure we're ready to go.
And I tell you, with some big games coming up still got a ways to go here in the season, another couple of weeks to go here, but a couple of good games there against the Woden game. I didn't get to go, but I get to watch it. That was a great game, and right there at the end, is a win at the end. So that was one of those nail-biter games for you, wasn't it, Coach?
Yes, that was one of those games that last year we would have lost. We would have found a way to lose.
Right.
This year, I told the guys we've grown, and it shows that we've grown because we found a way to win a tough game at home. Where the chips were down, we went down in the third quarter by 1 going into the fourth quarter, and we hadn't been there in district. And so our guys just picked it up, stayed together, and found a way to win.
Yeah, and they played great defense there towards the end, too, because, I mean, they actually had a shot to have an opportunity to, I think, tie it up or go up by 1, if I remember right. And so, yeah, that was a great game, and that was a big win. That's what kind of carried you guys into, into the top of the district standing right there and kept you rolling on. Good win over Broadus Torino as well. So those are some tough teams that you had to get through in the district, too.
Yes, sir. I think every night we go to play, especially coming out of the first round of district, everybody knows that we were leading the district. I tell the guys there's a bullseye on our back, and everybody's going to give us the best game, and we got to be ready to comply with that and give them our best game back.
Yeah, because, I mean, I remember the very first game that I called for you guys this season, it just seemed like the guys were just kind of trying to piece it together a little bit there. And then now watching them, it's just like they're starting to be that like I told Coach Holmes, the well-oiled unit. They're starting to work out a little bit. They still got their little things here. I know that you got to work with them.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, they're moving along real good when they get running.
Yes, we talk about just playing hard defensively for 4 quarters, 5 if need be, and letting the ball move offensively and let it does what it do. And just, play selfless basketball. You play for your brother, don't play for yourself, and things will fall into place.
Right, and it's falling in real good right now, too. I tell you, and you got a big game coming up against West Sabine tomorrow night, which we'll be there for that. And then, of course, Corrigan Camden, trying to keep them down in there as well. But, those 2 games coming up for you next week, Coach, are some big, important games to keep rolling along in there.
Yes, sir. We want to make sure that we don't overlook anybody. We know West Sabine is going to give us their best shot. They're going to be at home. They want to get a W. They're trying to get in the playoffs themselves.
Right.
So we have to be ready to play. Friday, Corrigan comes to the house. We want to protect the home, of course, and give the guys a good show.
Yeah, I tell you, and it's a lot of fun to watch them get up and down the floor and play too. Because whenever the guys get out in transition, you get the explosive plays and get the dunks and things going. And you got plenty of guys that can get out there and do it. And I have to make sure that we got Mr. Malone. I'm dunking with Mr. Malone. That's what I call him now because he's had a dunk out there. And but we're making sure we talk about all the great action that it is because it's just exciting basketball and the crowd gets into it. And it gets all the guys pumped up there too. So and whenever you get basketball that's rolling like that, it's a lot of fun to be out there.
Right. I tell the guys, if you want to get out in transition, you want to run, you want to have an opportunity to make dunks and make highlight plays, you got to play defense.
Right.
So if you're buying and playing defense, those things will come. So we've been doing it pretty decent.
Yeah, that's true. And then but do you get on them if they back iron the dunk?
I do. You gotta let them. You gotta let them play. But
right.
I tell them, you got 1 or 2 misses, then you better get a layup.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Cause take the easy shot, the good high field position shot. No, always get those points. That's the way to do it there. I think that's what Dan Campbell should have done. Take the points in the NFC Championship game. You don't ever go on 4th down. What's wrong with you? Anyway, that's football here. Yeah, Coach. I tell you, I mean, these guys here, Cartwright and Barnes and Clifton. I mean, you can just go up and down the lineup and call 6 or 7 guys out there that are just phenomenal players and they're just play well together. And you can see they talk to each other out on the floor. They give each other a hard time because they want to know what you expect of them.
Right. Communication is big for us, offensively and defensively, because we're trying to come together. We're trying to be jailed. You have to be able to talk to each other on the floor when it's going good and when it's going bad.
Right. And I mean, don't really have to really sit out there and hit some threes, but you guys can launch the threes, and they'll go down quite a bit for you guys too, right?
We shoot enough.
Yeah, you're right.
We want to make sure that you understand that we will take and make some shots, so you just can't pack the paint. You have to respect the game. So if we can come out and hit some shots early, we give people a lot of trouble.
Yeah, because, I mean, once you start pulling that out there and then you start throwing it back down inside and then kicking it back out, and then you got rolling out there that's just a threat. The one I've seen that's really knocking those down. See them a lot hitting those. And, they got to cover them. And if they don't, sometimes I bring 2 out, and that always leaves you back open in the middle. So your game is working in and out on that.
Right, so we always want to go inside out first.
Right.
Try to get into our big, see if we can make something happen. If not, get it back out. They're doubling you. Get the wide open shot. We take our shots. I tell them, you make or miss. You take the clean shot. We'll live with it.
Right. Right. So. There you go. And too, what I like about this team too is you got some good height, Coach. I mean, that is always a good advantage because sometimes you just run into some years and stuff where you just don't have the height you need. You have to adjust a little bit, but the guys, you got some good height out there, and those guys can, great defenders out there. That's what I like for the height.
Yeah, that helps with our defense. We get a lot of deflections. We get our hands on a lot of balls. We rebound the ball really well. We protect the basket well because from the 3 to the 5, we're pretty long.
Right. Yeah, and I know the Comondale game that we covered a while back, and it was just like, just pretty much all out on that one. I don't want to disrespect Coney or whatever, but it's kind of like a good scrimmage there for you guys. Go down there and just work your offense into the things that you want to do, into some of the other things that are coming up on the floor. So, I mean, those are good to be in those games. You want to get them in there and play some good basketball, but that always allows you to work on things that other people may not see. That's what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. You want to play in the half court offensively, want to play in the half court defensively, work on your press a little bit, things like that. So, of course, with every game, when you get it to a certain point in the game, you want to work on some things to better yourself for down the road.
Right. And I tell you too, Coach. I know you can set your lineup out there. You can probably change it up 4 or 5 different ways. But that 6 man off the bench. You got a couple guys. Looks like I talked with Coach Cartwright. You got a couple guys you can pick from. But who's that one guy if you really needed a spark to come off? Who's that one you're going to pull?
Well, Demarion Teagle is a senior that I bring off the bench.
Right.
He's our defensive spark, and then Alex Haskin is also a senior that I bring off the bench. He's the offensive spark.
Right.
Both of those guys play guard. I like to bring 3 guys off the bench. I have another big in Javarius Barnes who comes in, rebounds the basketball, defends the rim really well. But if I had to pick one as a 6th man, it would be Demarion Teagle.
Right, yeah, Teagle. And then great young man, too, senior. He's going to be moving on to some track and field, I believe, after high school and stuff. So great job on the football field all those years and bringing that great that senior leadership to the guys, too, because, I mean, they look to him on the floor, don't they?
Yes, sir. Defensively, especially when he comes on the floor, it kind of turns us up a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
And they get him all ready to go out there. So I tell you, this is a good basketball team, folks. And if you haven't seen the St. Augustine Wolves play, Coach Randall's got them playing really, really well. And you need to get out there and watch them play. And they're going to be making some noise here, especially coming up in the playoffs. So we're going to have the game for those who want to watch. Check it out here tomorrow night. It will be the girls and then the guys will be in West Sabine. Big game to keep rolling on there too. And Coach, so one thing else before I let you go is, I mean, I know where we are sitting in right here, and I know you're try not to look ahead at it or whatever, and I know there's going to be some crossover in this Region 3 and the playoffs and stuff coming up there too, but keeping the guys down a little bit, I mean, is there some extra things you do just away from basketball, just to say get the guys together, say go have some pizza and hang out, or just do something to just kind of get them away from the game a little bit, just to keep them down in a level level?
No, we really don't do anything like that. We talk through text and we communicate, and we talk about other things outside of basketball. And in the hallways and things like that. It's not always just strictly basketball.
Right.
We have a lot of conversations before practice or after practice about life in general, just things that they need.
Right. And a bunch of great young men, too. I mean, just turn them into great young men. That's what they're. Not one of those young men that ever walk by. They always say hi, and they always got something, just very respectful. And that's what I like about the guys, too. So very good there. All right, Coach, I tell you what, you guys are moving right along, and I'm so happy that we get the chance to be a part of the basketball broadcast of you guys this year. We appreciate you being here. And, you got some great games coming up, and we're going to be down there. I guess we're going to go to Woden. That's another one. We want to cover the guys' game, St. Augustine at Woden coming up. That's going to be a big key one there in the district race coming up as well. So a lot of good basketball action still for the St. Augustine Wolves. Coach Randall with St. Augustine Wolves. Thanks for being here, Coach. Good luck to you and the guys. Thank you. We'll have you back again before too long. I promised Coach Barnes we'd have all the ADs down here one of these days. He's like, it's about time I get some pizza. I think that's what he was trying to say to me anyway. There you go. All right, well, we'll be right back to the Piney Woods Area Coaches Show here at the Pizzeria. Come see us on NetSN.
Serving our communities for over a century, Farmers State Bank continues to meet the financial needs of East and Central Texas. With roots that run deep, Farmers State Bank serves as a source of financial strength to meet the needs of our neighbors. From a comprehensive range of financial products to individual service, we remain dedicated to being a true community bank. Farmers State Bank, improving lives and fulfilling dreams.
Center Motor Company. From whatever angle you look at it, you see Ford. Ford trucks, SUVs like the Bronco, and iconic cars like the Mustang. A legacy managed by Kevin Jones and created by Ray Jones. Center Motor Company on Hurst Street in Center.
All righty, folks, back here to the Piney Woods Area Coaches Show this evening, and with us is Coach Lewis of the Tennehaw Tigers. And Coach, how's it going?
Hey, it's going good. Thanks for having me tonight, man.
Thank you for being here. Thanks
yes,
for being
sir.
here. And
yes, sir.
I want to say thanks a lot to getting back and letting us be a part of some Tennehaw broadcasts this year.
Sir.
And I know that we talked to some good folks, and we're definitely going to look to covering almost all of the Holiday Hoops tournament next year. We would love to do that. We got a bunch of guys that we can all go down there and we can just
hit all the mini games that we possibly can.
Man,
I think that'll be a lot of fun.
That's a tournament you want to be a part of,
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
I'm telling you, it's good 3 days of this great basketball and the teams that we have and things like that. We're already working on it for the next year of getting our teams and things like that. So it's something you want to be a part of, just the crowd, the atmosphere, and all of that. So you don't want to miss that.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of the games on NFHS and a bunch of other things out there, and there's just some great basketball. And I was like, man, we really need to get in on that. I'm looking forward to it.
If you can get in, you want to be a part of it. I can tell you that right now.
Definitely.
Yes,
and
sir.
so we're going to get in on that. And too, my first opportunity to go to Tyndall Hall last Tuesday, and beautiful facility, and
Yes,
great
sir.
game there. Had a game against Gary, and big wins for both the gals and the guys there too. So
Yes, sir.
let's start off there with that one. And I know that you were trying to keep a little bit of a winning streak going there. You were starting to get on a roll a little bit, getting the guys back, and that was a good Gary team that I talked to you before the game, and they had a few seniors there, but they were some young guys, but they fought hard.
Man,
But you guys still were able to maintain them.
They play really hard, and Coach Wallace does a really, really good job over there with them guys. He got some experience and he got some youth and then some young players. But Coach Wallace, he does a really good job with his system. Those guys going to play hard for 32 minutes, and I told our guys, no matter what the score is, we got to play hard, because if we sit here and we jump out on them and we get a lead and we try to relax, they're going to still be playing hard and they can sneak back up on you. So he does a great job with his guys,
Right. And I tell you what, you guys were there in just the free throw line. You guys were just knocking them down, and that's got to be good too. And you see that, Coach, whenever you guys are stepping up to the free throw line and knocking down the charity stripe, then that's a good thing.
As much as we practice them, shoot them in practice, you think we'd be good at it, I mean, that's one thing I harp on is, making layups and making those free throws. You get 10 seconds. So, anytime you get to the free throw line as a coach, you like, that got to be a gimme.
Yeah, it should be all the way through. Right?
But, we struggle from the free throw line sometimes too, so.
Yeah, there is that time whenever you get the bricks are going there. That kind of everybody has those nights and stuff too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's the key thing too is like when against Shelbyville the other night, we had to have some free throws down the stretch, and those are the very important ones too, down the line in there in that fourth quarter, and those were big ones too. And shooting off some threes, on the whole of them going down there against Gary, but you guys had some good looks at it there, and just kind of off the mark just a little bit. I don't think there was any just errant shots on.
And some games from the 3-point line we might hit 13 a game, and some games from the 3-point line we might hit 5. You just never know. It's kind of with us, we're going to shoot them, and that's part of our offensive scheme. We're going to shoot them, so we might be on or we might not, and when we're not on, I tell my guys, don't get frustrated. Just keep attacking, and now we got to work our way in to work our way back out. So, just don't beat yourself up because your shot's not falling. It's the game of basketball. Shots not going to always fall. You just got to stay positive and keep your head up. So when our shots are not falling from the 3-point line, I just got to stay on my guys, stay up, stay positive.
Right, because it's not all going to go down.
No.
But if you got a good look at it, take the shot, and if it's going to go, you just keep it going. I understand.
Yes, sir.
That's a good way to go right there. I tell you what, because let's talk a little bit about these guys here. And you have so many great guys down there on the floor. I saw Kenny. You know him by I go by
Kenny. Yes, sir.
You know about the nicknames. I know about the
nicknames.
Kenny, yes, sir. Man, I tell you what, this guy he's one of those relentless players. He's all over the place.
Yes.
And that's the kind of player I like to see because Coach got one of those at Parker over there. Coach Waker does, and he's all over the place with Kenny, and that was what I liked watching him the other night. Him and Fredo both were kind of like, but Kenny was just seemed to be that guy that's under the goal, and he's here, he's there, he's everywhere.
He's all over the place for us. He's one of them guys I always tell him, we in practice, hey, you better know all 5 spots because you never know.
Never know which one you're
when somebody going to get in foul trouble and I got to stick you here, stick you there. But Bray is, he's our quarterback in football, so, he's been in that role of having to, do different things. So, but for basketball, man, he brings a lot to the table for us, and he does a really good job at everything that he does. Very coachable. It's always yes sir, no sir, but I can say, Bray, we got to have this. And be like, yes, sir. Hey, you got to – tonight defensively, you're going to be on their best player. Yes, sir. Right. So he knows, whatever we ask him to do, it's always yes, sir, and he's going to get it done. So, Bray's a great kid, great player, and great leader for us.
Right. That's good to have because you like to have multiple players out there now, like Moore, number 5, number 5, because you got 2 of them out there. But Moore, I mean, this young man, I talked to the gentleman that called the ball games here on the radio, and he said that, he's such a nice young man and a great young man and a great leader and just a pleasure to be around. And I got that from him a couple of times that I talked to him, and he seems to be just a wonderful young man.
Very humble young kid. Yeah. He's getting the opportunity. He's going to go play at the next level at football. But Pooh is a kid that we go through Pooh for a lot of things, and then Pooh just show up ready to go to work. Great leader, lead by example and so much more. But, you know, hey, if we got to have that clutch shot, everybody know who we finna go to. You know, they know.
You better cover him. He's going to be one, right?
Coach finna go to Pooh, you know. And, you know, but we got other guys that's going to step up as well. So sometimes people think we're going to go to Pooh, but we also, you know, somebody else going to have a hot hand and we can go to them as well. But when he get going, he get going. And I'm telling you, you know, when he get hot from the three-point line, he hard to cool off. And, you know, once he get going, I don't try to stop him. I just let him keep going with the green light.
Yeah, because he stepped up there and knocked down a couple of them the other night there. And so, you know, he's got a nice shot out there to throw that down to. But another great player I like out there is Fredo.
Yes, sir.
And another young man that just seems like he can play a couple spots for you as well.
He can play a couple of spots for us. Very humble kid as well. Very quiet kid.
Right.
You know, very quiet kid. But, man, he can play the game. You know, he's not a kid that's going to really settle for the jumper, but he will shoot it. But, he love to get to the rim and do things like that. But, you know, great kid. Humble kid, great leader. You know, I got a lot of great leaders on my team. You know, these kids play hard. They really do. And, you know, anything I ask them to do, they're going to jump in and get it done.
Right.
You know.
Well, I tell you what, you don't have like the tall, big man in the middle down
Yes,
there.
sir.
But you got the guy Stokes. You know, he seems to take up some room. And
Yeah.
he had a pretty good night the other night. He did some good stuff, too. He was making some noise, and he does the defensive things that you ask him to. So he's a good addition to have out there to keep the things going.
He's getting better and better every game. You know, last year he wasn't able to play varsity, so he had to play some JV last year. So he's playing varsity for us this year. And he's getting his minutes, and, you know, he's getting better every game, you know, from, you know, rebounding and finishing around the rim for us and you know, things like that. So anytime we look on the bench and say, hey, you got to go, he's ready to roll, you know. So, you know, some games where, you know, he's starting, and some games we bring him off the bench. So his role changes every game, but, you know, he's ready to roll and coachable kid and, you know, ready to just accept whatever role we give him for that night in that game.
I'll tell you what, when you have so many good coachable kids like that, sure makes your job a little bit easier.
It make it a little bit easier, yes, sir. It make it a little bit easier. You know, it's a frustrating moment sometimes. But for the most part, they do work hard, and, you know, those guys ready to play. We kind of like the old Nolan Richardson. You know, he said 40 minutes, but in high school we play for 32 minutes. So we tell them we got to grind and we got to grit for 32 minutes. We got to get after these guys. You know, no matter what the scoreboard say, we got to be ready to play.
Right. And one more young man I'm talking about is Ross. You know, number 4, he played a complete game out there. He was dropping dimes. He was doing this. He was doing that. So just another young man I think that, you know, just adds to what a great lineup for you.
He's not afraid of anything. You know, he can be a guard. He can be a post for us. He can jump. He can shoot. He can take it off the dribble. You know, he's another kid that, you know, I tell him every day, hey, somebody go out. You got to step in. You got to be willing to play any position, any role. And he accepts that, you know, and he does a really good job for us. You know, he helps us out big time, you know, with Self and, you know, with Kenny, you know, around the rim and rebounding and finishing and things like that. So, you know, we got a lot of guys that accept their roles and do different things for us, but, you know, they all accept it and you know, help us out. We getting better every game.
Right. Yeah, that is true, because you guys are kind of on like a little bit, you're on a winning streak going on. And I tell you, we talked about how important that game was on Friday night, and then to you know, beat Shelbyville there. That got you right there. Now that makes you in that hunt there. Now everything's right there, so it's even tighter and everything. So how does the guys feel after that game Friday? They had to be pretty happy.
Man, I tell you this, our guys are very excited about that game. I think my senior said, Coach, that's our first time to beat these guys since 7th grade. So they've been looking for that for a while. So, but we played well. You know, I'm glad. You know, for me, I'm glad that game over with, just because, you know, that's a former player of mine, Coach Wade over there. And but, you know, that could be a chance. Maybe we'll see him again, you know. Then I had to stress about it again. But for us, that's a big win, because when you go on the road, it's tough to get road wins. You know, when you go to somebody else's house, you know, it's tough. And I always tell my kids, road games are the toughest because you're going to their house. You know, when you play a home game, you're like, this is the one we got to win. But we get on the bus and we travel, we know it's going to be tough. And our guys, we stay locked in and we play hard the other night. We played hard. You know, we went 6 for 13 from the free throw line, so I was kind of upset. We missed some layups that I thought we should have had, so I was kind of upset. But, you know, through it all, timeouts, and at the end when we start turning it over a little bit, I just looked at them and said, remember, we can only control what we control, and the things that we can control is taking care of the ball and finish this ball game. You know, you got to believe, not just believe in yourself, believe in your teammates, let your faith be bigger than your fear. Those are some of the small things I tell my players, you know, when it's kind of getting tough, and just kind of keep them relaxed and keep them focused and stay together. You know, keep each other lifted up. And, you know, I thought we did a great job of that the other night when, you know, Coach Wager had number 3 to one of them twins go down there and hit back-to-back threes on us. You know, I'm like, oh, here we go.
But locking it up real close.
Yeah, but we stayed focused and we stayed, you know, in it together, and we were believing still. And I'm just glad we finished, because we've been in some games this year where we didn't finish and it hurt us. So I was glad of my guys for putting that game together and to finish and leaving out with a win and put us back in the position this district to be 4-4. I'm not, I wish we were playing tomorrow and we went on a bye because we're really playing well right now. So we got a bye tomorrow night. Then we got another big one on Friday at home at Tennehaw versus Garrison. So, it's a war. It's playoffs right now for us. Every game is a playoff game for us because we're trying to get in still,
Yeah, because you got Garrison, then you got Timpson, Beckville, and Joaquin still. So you got a tough schedule ahead still to go. Just get in there.
It don't get easy for us. So, I tell my guys, it's kind of like we're pinned in the corner and we come out fighting. So every game that we take a court, we got to fight.
Right.
We can't fight for a quarter. We can't fight for a half. We got to fight for 4 quarters. We got to compete and complete. You got to compete for 32 minutes, but you got to complete the possession that you're supposed to complete. Win those loose ball battles, take them charges, make the free throws, do the easy things.
Right.
That's one thing I preach to them, the easy things. It take you a long way,
Fundamentals of the game will do all that stuff and it'll take you right up in there. That's
yes,
true.
Sir.
Well, I tell you what, this is a good basketball. That was a good win. That was one of the most exciting games I was able to call this year.
Yeah.
I tell you, that was so good. So, but if you don't mind, let's see if we get Wager over here and have 2 of y'all together, if that's okay for a little while. Because in case you don't know, folks, Coach Lewis used to be the coach of Coach Wager used to be one of his players. So that's why I was. And I tell you, as Coach comes in here, after that game was over, I don't know if y'all saw the game broadcast, but after it's over, I just happened to have my camera on YouTube. And you guys took a big hug, and I said, now that is what you see 2 great coaches embrace and 2 great men right there who have a lot of respect for each other, and y'all do. And,
yes,
and that's what I like about it. So, but let me ask you, because I got to know Coach Wager a little bit, to get to know you a little bit. Tell me how he was as a player.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, he was a great player,
Oh, yeah?
and, but we had some fun times. He was just a high school kid.
Right.
He tried me a few times, but for the most part, man, he was great. He could shoot. He played some defense, and he was one of those kids. When it's time to get him out, he didn't want to come out. He's like, Coach, I'm playing well. I know you playing well, but you just got that foul. You need to get the breather. But coaching him, man, was fun. That was a good group that he was surrounded with a whole bunch of good players, and some of those guys, we got one of them just coaching now at the college level, and some of them that not coaching anymore, and they just doing some different things. But that group was fun. The tough part was I left those guys their senior year to take a job at Union Grove, so I had to go back to New Diana because we was in the district with them, and when I was at Diana, we played Union Grove. We beat them by 40 at Diana, and then at Union Grove beat them by 35. So I wasn't looking forward to it because you got to go play your old team. So we go to New Diana. Tell you a little story about Coach Wager. We go to New Diana, and they end up beating us by 1. A kid named Ed Jones hit a shot 3 off the glass, and he's running. He got that little smirk like he had right now. But it was an opportunity in the game. He was on fire. He don't hit a couple of shots, and he's running, opposite of our bench, down the court, and I'm yelling, watch him. He come baseline, and he makes a 3. And I turn around like, God dang it. And as I'm walking back to my bench, he comes with his bare hand and just slaps me on my butt. And, I still feel that sting to the day. And he turned around and he say, I told you. He had a little grin on his face like he got now. But, coaching against him, when I left him their senior year, it was tough, but I enjoyed it because it was a great game. We were back and forth, and, we don't coach. This is our first time to actually coach against each other as coaches. I always got to watch him, because when I was at White Oak, he was at Diana. I was on the girls' side. He was on the boys' side, so I always got to watch him.
Right.
And we always talked, but actually coaching against each other, this is our first time, and I enjoyed it. I don't like it, but I did enjoy it. At Tennehaw, he beat us by 9. And then at his place, we played well and we got to beat them. So it's a moment that you stress. But I sent him a text on Saturday and told him to keep his head up, keep working, keep doing the things that he's doing to making his team better. And that game right there make us both better.
Right.
It makes us both better. That's why we do what we do in this profession.
And you can see the mutual respect between the guys on the floor as well. Coach, you can show you guys have told these kids, hey, doesn't matter how crazy it gets out there. It can get a little chippy. You see some of that. But, they had a lot of respect for each other. All those guys did on the floor out there the other night.
I think half of them cousins. I think half of them cousins. Right. They ain't cousins. They hang out with each other a lot. Right. So that's pretty much our whole district, of Shelby County. All our kids know each other. So, like I tell my kids, hey, look, these can be your friends, but, when we finna get after for 32 minutes, they ain't your friends. When the game over, we back friends, and that's one thing we tell each other. Hey, Coach, I love you. Before the game, we going to hug, say, look, when this thing over, we'll be back loving each other. But during this game,
Yeah.
You know, it's business.
Yeah, because I seen you guys down there. You get close, but I didn't see a whole lot of conversation down there on the floor, back and forth.
A lot of conversation. Nah.
But I tell you, Coach, I know that how I've seen Shelbyville play, and I think the one thing that hurt Shelbyville, the coach did a good job of shutting Eli down, because he didn't get the chance to have a couple shots that he normally would. I think that was a big part of what Coach tried to do the other night.
Absolutely. They didn't help off of him a bunch, and, it's tough. Our guards had a lot of turnovers, that we don't normally make.
Yeah.
Because anytime you don't help out of the corner off of a big-time shooter, it should open up some driving lanes where you should be able to get to the rim a little bit. But, we weren't locked in on Friday night and, didn't take care of business and, had way too many turnovers. So I think we ended up with like 25, and you can't ever win a basketball game like that. So, but, we're trying to put this one behind us, and, we watched a little bit of film today over it and kind of tried to learn from it and move on. And, it's like a bad dream, that night. And I just kept thinking, hey, eventually we're going to wake up, and we never did. But hopefully we can move forward, take care of business tomorrow on the road at Garrison, and, help them out as well.
Right. There you go. Actually kind of helping each other out, coming the rest of the way up in here, too, because, Shelbyville got some games left. You got Garrison, Timpson, Beckville, Joaquin, and Gary, too, so some good games there. So, you don't ever want to say, a good loss, Coach, or, for either one of you. But, sometimes those do happen. And, those are just some, especially like right here, learning, teachable moments that I think both of you guys can agree on some of that for both your teams and anything that happens.
Absolutely.
Yep. Anytime, you never want to lose a game, but if you can learn from it and there's something there of value that you can help your team grow, at the end of the day, it is valuable, moving forward. And sometimes it takes a loss for them to open up their eyes a little bit and go, okay, this is what we need to do to be able to win a basketball game. So.
Right. Yeah, you guys have been moving right along there, Coach. And the loss there, kind of like you said, just kind of set you back. You're like, well, okay, so we need to work on this and do this and that. And then you guys are rolling right along, but you're taking some of those things, so you don't want to hit that little plug in there. You want to keep going. And I think both of them can help out along the way for both ways, because the way you guys moving along right.
It's a lot of things from that game the other night that's gonna help us. Kind of like right there to late the game. Bray Kenny, number 13. When we got the lead. And we're still trying to play fast. So I'm saying, hey, easy, which it was a one-on-one situation that, he attacked baseline to go in for the layup, and Coach Wager slid there and got the charge call, things that we don't need. So, we learned a lot from that game, that's going to help us just as we continue to go forward and close this district schedule out. So it was a great game overall. 4 quarters is a great game,
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are saying, well, how's that a charge order? So sometimes people need to understand is sometimes when you get that knee up a little bit, you lean a little bit. The refs are calling. It just depends on how the refs are, and that could be on either side, right, guys? But I tell you what, Coach, talking a little bit about the guys from Shelbyville here, I tell you that we've got to call some great games, and then they still had a good game the other night. Like I said, you don't want to lose, but the guys played a good game, and they knew they were still in it. They kept fighting, and closed the gap, because Tenno had a good little lead there and come right on back. So did that a couple times. So your guys fought hard. It just had that little hill that just couldn't quite get over at the end.
Well, our efforts never been in question the whole year. I told the guys that after the game. I was proud of the way they fought, and they competed for all 4 quarters. Didn't execute well, turned the ball over too many times, but, they played really, really hard. And I was proud of the way they played defensively. Our goal is always to give up less than 45 points, and we met that. And I think we out-rebounded them by 16 or 17, which, kept us in the basketball game. But, every possession matters, and I think after today, after watching the film, we see that, possession here, possession there, we cut it to 3 at the end, and if we have 4 or 5 less turnovers, who knows, we may be up 2 or 3. So, but it's, like I said, we're going to keep growing game by game, and hopefully we can put this one behind us and move forward tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely. You got a tough opponent coming up tomorrow night, Coach, and the Garrison Bulldogs. They're trying to move right in there, and they got to face Tenno coming up later on too. So Garrison's going to have a couple of tough teams ahead of them, and you guys, both you teams right there, are going to be having a hard time of it. But we know we beat Garrison earlier in the year, and you know what they're about, and so what do you expect out of those guys coming up?
Well, they're extremely athletic, and Coach Beavers does a really great job of using their athleticism in their favor. But it's going to be a tough matchup. I'm counting on our guards to step up and not turn the ball over near as much as we did the other night and make some plays. And hopefully we can win the rebound battle and give ourselves a great chance to to come out on top tomorrow night.
And then an even bigger game on Friday night. You know, you guys got Friday night, Coach?
We got Garrison
Friday night, and then Timpson Friday. That's where we'll be there is at Shelbyville and Timpson. And Timpson's starting to get their, like we talked a little bit, they're starting to play a little better too. So they're trying to be a team that both these teams want to keep at bay right now.
Well, our district, night in and night out, there are no, easy games. I mean, if you don't come to play, anybody can beat you at any point. I mean, it just,
it's tough.
There's no looking at a team and going, okay, we got this one. I mean, you better come prepared, and you better come locked in, you better come ready to go, or you're going to get beat. And so that it'll prepare us. We've talked about this. It'll prepare us down the stretch for the playoffs. But night in and night out. I mean, I go home every night going, oh my gosh, how are we going to win this next one? I know Coach does too. So.
It's tough. It's stressful.
Yeah,
it's a grind every night.
Yeah, every single night it goes on. Well, knowing you guys as well as you do you guys have similar coach styles that you do some of the things together? You kick some of the things for him, and you just move it around, or is there some things that y'all do totally different, or you have to do different when you play each other?
How many of my inbound plays do you still run?
Here's the deal. So, we got some of the same inbound plays, and it's just over the years that we have talked, and when we playing each other, I got to turn my back to him just to give my signals because – and we know both on inbound. He's sitting over there doing this. He's looking really hard. And once I get my signal, he's yelling out, hey, remember da-da-da-da. Right. So, some of the inbound plays we do. Right. We do. So, and, I used to be a big zone guy. And here lately I've been doing a lot of man. So he used to give me a hard time, like, who plays zone? Ain't nobody, who plays zone. So, it was a couple of times in practice our kids, like, Coach, you think he's going to go zone? I said, no, he's not going to go zone. He's not a zone guy at all. He's not going to do it. He's a straight man guy. So we just got to continue to, either they're going to play straight up man or they're going to sag off us, do kind of a little pack line. I said, but he ain't giving us no zone. So we just got to stress our man stuff, and so here's some stuff he know what I don't done because, he don't watch me over the years and we don't talk about it and things like that. So, it's fun preparing for him, things like that because we talk so much. We talk a lot. And we bounce off deals off each other and, and stuff like that, So it's always fun, because I'm thinking that when I'm preparing for him, I'm sitting there, I know he got every film I don't play, and I know he know what I'm doing, and I know he's looking for these signals because I don't like to yell. I like to signal things. And, so, and it's one thing I know, whatever I do against him, I know that film is safe. So I know it ain't getting out. So I'm good. If I want to switch something up just for that one game, I know I'm safe with him, and he knows the same way with me. Right. So
I bet it is. It's got to be definitely hard to prepare for somebody you know so well to do something like that. It's got to be there too. But I tell you what, guys, this has been some really fun basketball that I've got the chance to get in here, and we got way longer to go here. You got a lot more games to call and coming up. But real quickly, I know we got to bounce out of here shortly, and I appreciate you guys coming down and everything. But can we talk just a little bit about the Lady Tenahawk Tigers real quick? They're number 2 team in the state. We got to see them the other night, Coach. They're a solid basketball team, and I tell you what, I talked to Coach Walker Holmes, and I said these girls are a fine old tuned machine. There's not anything I can see a glitch anywhere. She said, well, they're out of position every now and then. I was like, really? Yeah. I guess that's one thing you can say. But that man, what a basketball team. I called a 2009 state championship team in Northeast Oklahoma one of the best women's basketball teams I've ever seen until I see this one. Yeah. I mean, I think even this team.
I'm telling you, man, they fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
They fun to watch. And Coach Wright, she stretches the small things. She on our girls hard every day, in practice and games. And, when they mess up, she tell them. She hold them accountable. And our girls, last year they remember what it felt like. So right now, our girls on a whole different level of a grind and a mission that they trying to get to San Antonio. But, they know they got to get to regionals. They got to go through Morris Mills and things like that. And I'm telling you, man, just watching them in practice, just sitting back, just watching them in practice and things like that, our coaching staff is on them hard. And, they get them prepared, they get them ready. Right. So they play hard, they play well together, great effort, energy. I mean, you can't talk enough great things about our girls' basketball
every
team.
little thing that works for them.
Yeah, I mean, and they make it look so easy.
Yeah,
they make it look so easy.
Flawless.
And I'm sitting over there stressing, and they go out and play, and it's like, man, I wish my boys could do that. Right. But at the same time, it's they fun to watch. They fun to watch in the game and practice, and a lot of times I like to sneak in there and just sit back and watch them. So they get after. Our coaching staff does a great job with them, and the things they're doing with them right now.
Right. They are, and they look really good. Cause I got to call that FHS game at the end of last year, and I know what they were getting ready to do there too. And Coach, talking about Coach Murray and the ladies over there too, they're fighting for that playoff position. That was a game that they knew was going to be hard to win out there, and but they still played hard and went out there after it. But Coach Murray, he's got the girls still ready to go, and they still have that opportunity there. So the girls are trying to get their position playoff too.
Well, absolutely. They had a rocky start the year, and since Coach Murray's taken over, I think they're like 4-2. 4-3, something like that. I mean, so he's got them rolling, got them playing really, really hard, and they ran into the buzzsaw, the Tenaha Lady Tigers the other night on Friday night, which is tough for everybody.
Right.
Everybody in the district goes through that, but he's got a big one tomorrow night at Garrison. We talked about that today, and hopefully they can win that one and put a couple more wins together and find themselves in the playoffs.
Yeah, Garrison, what I called the Garrison game a while back, that's where they kind of turned their season around, so they have a chance to do right there too. So, but I tell you what, guys, I appreciate y'all being here tonight, and I know that we got one Saturday because we got Coach Harrison and Coach Meeks getting ready for the other show out here, but we got a lot of great basketball to go. We'll see you guys on Friday night at Timpson and Shelbyville, and we're going to have some other Tenaha games in there too, and we're going to be following everybody we can through the playoffs along the way, and as I said, we're talking about, Coach, I'm sure Shelbyville will be in the hoops tournament next year. We're going to be all in on that too. We're ready to go for that. So,
yes,
guys, congratulations on the great seasons, and let's keep moving along. It's been a lot of fun, and thank y'all for letting me be a part of it, Coach Wallace. And are you the new AD over there? Is he still?
Yes, sir.
I thought
yes,
so.
Sir.
I thought that's what was going.
Yes, sir. That and head boys basketball coach, and then we just moved our defensive coordinator up, Marlon Burson. Right now he's our principal.
Okay.
And he's the head football coach. So we got some unique situations, things going on at Tenaha right now. And so it's fun over there, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, sir, I'm the man. So, but if you want to complain about anything, just go to Marlon Burson. He'll take it.
He's the one who got to tell you.
Or you can call Coach.
We call Coach Wager.
You can call Coach Wager. You can call Coach Wager. He can take care of it for me too.
Well, I do know that I talked to Coach Barnes, and I told him that I would like to have the ADs come down one night, just time to talk about it, maybe we get ready for playoffs and whatever too. But Coach, thanks so much for letting us be a part of it and hooking us up always over there in Shelbyville. Thanks to you too, Coach Lewis, for being, and tell Walker Holmes that we hope she can come down here with us one night. And we got another great show coming up here, so we're gonna have to wrap this one up here. So we're gonna get done. Piney Woods Area Coach Show back next Monday here at the Pizzeria. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Many of you may know Brad Ernst from his coverage of Texas high school basketball for Hoop Insider. But did you know he also saves coaches and fans thousands of dollars on their insurance? Brad has access to multiple carriers and can shop around to find you the lowest rates on your home, auto, RV, boat, and ATV insurance. Contact Brad today and talk some hoops and see how he can save you on insurance. Email him today at hoopinsider@gmail.com or call him today at 409-988-4336.
At Sabine State Bank, you have a lot of things going for you. Three-point shot. It's Red Horse takes it to the house. This has been a presentation of the Rough Rider broadcast team, brought to you by Watlington and Shires Productions.